Welcome to the Artist Academy podcast, the audio version of our Facebook Live series, Art Talk Tuesday. I'm your host, Andrea Earhart, and I am so excited that you're here to catch the weekly replay of my laid-back yet very inspiring conversations with other full-time professional artists. The purpose of this series is to show aspiring artists like you that it is completely possible to make a great career out of this art thing. And if you ever want to join us live and have your questions answered in real time by myself or featured guests, then just hop over to facebook.com/groups/Artist Academy every Tuesday at 8 p.m. Central Standard Time. I'll see you there. This episode is sponsored by the Artist Academy Advanced Membership, a program for artists who want to up-level their art game by taking it from a hobby or a side hustle to a full-time art business. I've been a professional artist for over 5 years, with paintings in several different countries and a client list that includes high-profile companies such as Bass Pro, O'Reilly's, Duck Commander, and many, many more. So I figured out what it takes to build an art business, and now my heart is set on teaching aspiring artists like you to do the same. Go to advancedmember.com, that's advancedmember.com to learn more. Hello, Artist Academy members, advanced members, all of you aspiring artists out there, and especially a special shout out to the advanced members right now, the ones in the Artist Academy Advanced group. The deadline to apply has passed. It is gone. We're not accepting anybody else in, so everybody who's in is in, and we are going to make the most of the fourth quarter. If you are not in, don't worry, I'll open it back up in 2020. But for now, I just wanted to share some tips that I had. So 5 simple productivity tips to increase your profits. And these are all coming from personal experience, and I'm going to go with number 1 first. I'm just going to get right into it. And so it's funny because I've had this idea to do a podcast about this for a while, and I actually wrote down 4 tips, and I was like, okay, these are like the 4 things that I have been doing lately, or that I didn't do in the beginning, but I do now that really help. I'm not perfect at them, but I'm doing them. And then I added a 5th one, honestly, just recently. So this past weekend, I ended up taking 48 hours off, like a total of 48 hours. I didn't work. I mean, I checked my email, but, and I checked Instagram, but I didn't post, really. I didn't really post to my story. I didn't do a whole lot of anything. I told myself, I was like, okay, I can do it Sunday night or Monday morning. I'm just gonna take 48 hours off. Actually, I was planning on taking 24 hours off, and then it went into 48 because it took me about 24 hours to really, let go and relax. And anyway, okay, so if you haven't picked it up already, the productivity tip number 1 is to give yourself a break every once in a while. And if you're one of the smart ones and you're like, yeah, I watch Netflix sometimes, I give myself breaks all the time, then I'm not really talking about you. You might need to amp it up a little bit, to be honest. I'm talking to people like myself who can't unplug, who are these artist entrepreneurs wanting to make it happen, and you have high goals and you're so dedicated. And I say that because that is myself. I have these crazy goals and I love what I do and I want to work all the time, and I have this weird itch or something that's like, no, you can't stop working because then you're not gonna achieve your goals in time. It's just this voice in the back of my head that's always just like, keep working, you got this, you can, you want it bad enough. And then I kind of just burn out sometimes. And so this is me taking my own advice recently, and I'm going to try to do that going forward in the fourth quarter, is to just take a break. Things can wait. My fiance Ryan always tells me that. I'm like, no, I have to do this. And he's like, you don't have to do anything right now. I'm like, well, I should, because then I'm going to be behind later. He's like, no. you don't have to do anything right now. Like, let's just sit on the couch and watch TV. And I try, and he watches TV, and I'm on my computer doing work because I'm like, I can't do it. But lately, or this past weekend really is a good example. I've just unplugged and I took a break. And now this Monday, so it's currently Monday right now. I'm not sure when you're listening to it. I got the most done that I have ever gotten. So I actually started working last night, Sunday night, because I seem to work better at nights. I'm kind of in more of a night owl. Like 7 to 10 p.m. I'm like in my zone. I don't know if you guys are like that, but I started last night, got so much done. And not painting wise, it was more like Artist Academy wise, preparing, doing templates for you guys and everything. And I was just in it, and I love doing this kind of stuff. So it's really not a chore, but I was in it and I was doing it, and then I woke up this morning at 6:30, crazy, and I got right in it again. I was doing it. I was just creating and getting it done, and it was one of my most productive mornings and evenings last night that I've had in a really long time. And just stepping back to think about it, it's because I took a break. And it was just, I just wanted to share that because that's real life right now. And I wasn't even going to put that on my list. Like I said, I was going to have 4 simple productivity tips to increase profits. Taking a break was not one of them. And now I just added it because I've seen personally what it can do for me. And so I just wanted to add that one in there because if you're out there working yourself to the bone, just take a break. And if you're out there and you take breaks all the time, maybe more than you should, maybe amp it up a little. Like, let's find a little balance, whatever balance is. Okay, so like I said, 5 simple productivity tips to increase profits. Number 1 was give yourself a break. Number 2, answer messages and emails when you get them. So we've all been in our inbox, our email inbox, our DMs on Instagram, and everywhere, and we're like, we read something and you're like, okay, I will respond to that in like an hour or 2 or when it's a little bit easier, right? But what we're doing, what we don't even almost realize, is that we're literally creating more work for ourselves. Like, I am now having to read it twice, that paragraph someone sent me that I opened because I was bored and I don't really want to respond to it right now. I now have to spend like 30 seconds reading that later. You know? So it's just like, and I just kind of realized that here lately, and that's one that I am not so good at, but I'm trying to be better at it, and it has been helping, and it's helped with my clarity and just a bunch of things. Anyway, I'm like recording in midday and someone is now mowing our lawn. I think our neighbor is mowing our lawn right now. So hopefully you don't pick up on that. But I was like, okay, wait, I can sit down and record this podcast because nobody's home right now. It's the middle of the day. In between stuff, and now someone's mowing our lawn. So hopefully you guys don't hear that. Anyway, real life situation. Okay, so back to just looking at my notes right here. Answer messages and emails when you get them, because reading something again it just doubles your time, and really, like, you're not gonna want to respond to it later. You know, you're really not going to want to respond to it any more than you want to respond to it now. Like, I totally get it. Like, a customer asked a question that needs just a little bit more of an answer than you can jot down in 5 seconds or 10 seconds. And you're like, oh, I'll do that later. Just do it now. You know, just try to do it now. Like, just do it when you can. My fiance, actually, I mention him a lot. He's really good at this. He's really good at just like getting it done and moving on, and I don't know why I am not. I am having to train my brain that this is the way it should be and to go against what I have been doing, just all these bad habits. Okay, moving on. So I wanted to make this episode pretty quick and simple because I feel like you guys kind of get it. Like, I say these 5 simple tips and you're like, okay, yeah, like, I'll do that. I feel like everyone maybe does this and you don't need a whole lot of talking into it. You know what I mean? So, moving on. Number 3. Okay. Also, to back up just a second. So, you might be questioning right now. Be like, okay, these are supposed to be like 5 simple productivity tips to increase profits. Wait, how is this increasing my profits? I feel like this is just helping me be a better business person, right? It will increase your profits because you will have happier customers, and those customers will refer you to other happy customers. That's kind of what I'm getting with this. And so, number 3, schedule time to do things. So, just recently, I was talking about how I hadn't painted for myself in a really long time. Like, people haven't ordered rainbow animal prints or anything for a really long time, or originals, and so, or I haven't asked them to as well, and so I haven't painted something that I really wanted to paint in a long time. I've been out doing murals and logos and just everything for everyone else, and I was just like, I need to do something for myself. And I said that for months and months and months, and then finally I just put it on the calendar. And I recently did this. I had about a week where I painted some pink lions and I had to put that on the calendar about 2 or 3 months ago, I want to say. Like, that has been on my calendar for a while. But okay, so, and if it's not something even big like that, I'm not saying that you want to just paint for yourself. I'm saying kind of if you need time to work on your website, I'd say just give yourself an hour on Monday night. Put that in there. Hey, from 8 to 9 after the kids go to bed, or from 6 to 7 right after I get home from work. I'm going to work on my website. I'm going to give it a good hour, and I'm going to set my timer, and I'm just going to be all in for just an hour and work on it, work on my bio, do this, do that, whatever you need to do. But take it off of your to-do list, and I'm not saying do it right away. I'm just saying take it off of your to-do list and put it in your calendar. That way you can set an alert, and you could even block off the whole day. I mean, when I'm scheduling murals and just any kind of painting, I look at my schedule, and I pull out my phone right when I'm talking to someone, like a customer, and they're like, hey, when can you do this? I will literally pull out my calendar, and I'll see all the little dots on there, and I'll look for a day that doesn't have a little dot. That's it. I won't really think back to be like, oh yeah, I scheduled these 2 days for myself in September, or blah blah blah. No, I just look at the dots, and I'm like, okay, I have November 1st open. Let's do that. Okay. And so for me, when it comes time to do these things that I put in my calendar, I've forgot about them. I forgot that I put them there weeks, months prior, until it comes close and I'm looking at, hey, what's tomorrow, or hey, what's next week? I'm like, oh yeah, I scheduled a little time for myself. Or I scheduled a little time that hey, I need to work a little extra this week because I need to get my website done, because I know the fourth quarter is coming up and people are going to be going onto my website and ordering prints or contacting me for originals. I need to get this done before this date. And so this is one of the exercises that we're doing currently in the Artist Academy Advanced group for the fourth quarter success plan. And it's what I'm asking of you guys, if you're listening, which I'm sure you are, but I'm asking you guys to really just give me an hour a week at minimum, and schedule it in your calendar. And we've gone through this already, so this is also just talking to people who aren't currently in the advanced group. Just, if you have a goal, write it down, which is what we did, right, in the first little bit of September. But then it's just, how do you make that goal happen? And then it's not just how, it's when, am I going to, on Sunday night, instead of relaxing in front of the television, I'm going to open my computer and I'm going to make this happen, because this is what I want for myself. This is going to help me reach my big goal, and setting some time aside is going to help you. And if you're someone who is just yeah, I get everything done, no problem, I'm not talking to you. But if you're someone who has an ever-growing to-do list like myself, because I keep adding to it, I'm oh, I want to do this, I want to do that, and I'm always okay, this can wait, okay, but I'm always scheduling it in and planning it out, because a goal without a plan, it can happen, but I'm just saying it's a little less likely, and it's probably not going to be as structured and as headache-free as if you were to just write it down and plan it in advance. Okay. Number 1, give yourself a break. Number 2, answer messages and emails when you get them, if possible. And 3, schedule time to do things for yourself, for your business. Just schedule the time. Put it in your calendar. And just let me know. If that ends up working for you, let me know. Send me a DM or a message, or put it in the Artist Academy Advanced group and let us know. Be like, hey, I'm actually getting stuff done. I would love to know your feedback. Number 4, give yourself deadlines and stick to them. So this kind of goes back to, I was listening to on Audible, because let's be real, I'm not going to actually read a book. I'm just going to listen to it on Audible while I paint. This goes back to the Rachel Hollis Girl Stop Apologizing book. If you're a woman and you have not read that, and some guys, it's a really good read or listen to while you're painting. So Girl Stop Apologizing, Rachel Hollis. And she talks a lot about just not giving up on yourself. And that kind of ties into the give yourself deadlines and sticking to them, because not giving up on yourself is sticking to the promises that you make to yourself, And I think a lot of us, we will show up to our 9 to 5 every day, no question, But if we promised ourselves, hey, I want to sell 5 paintings this fourth quarter, I want to sell 10 paintings, 20 paintings this fourth quarter, and I really want that to happen, I feel like we just kind of I'll maybe do this and I'll maybe do that. Or if I'm hey, I want to make my own website. And I just feel like people don't take themselves as seriously as they take other people. You know what I mean? And that goes back on me as well, because whenever I painted for Bass Pro Shops for 60 hours a week, and I'm serious, we were painting for 60 hours a week away from home, sleeping in our hotel rooms, and I mean, it was great. It was a beautiful experience. I loved it. It was just tiring. And I mean, I showed up for 60 hours a week painting there. But when it came time to come home and paint, I would be lucky to get 20 hours a week, to be honest, when I was first starting out, when I wasn't working for Bass Pro as much, and I didn't have someone, to answer to. And I came home and I was just I'll paint here and there, and I'd be up kind of late, maybe do 4 hours at night, maybe do 4 hours the next night. But I'm okay, if I really painted as much as I used to, I would have stacks of paintings and have multiple print options. And so I started to make deadlines and stick to them. I was okay, I started really simple. I was I'm going to get 1 painting done a week, because I really believe I can do that. And then I stuck to it. And then I was okay, well, I'm going to set up a printing system. I'm going to do this and that. Anyway, long story short, I set deadlines and I stuck to them, because that saying really resonated with me. I am not the kind of person who will follow orders from someone else over myself, That's treating a company with more respect than I'm treating myself. And I'm no, once it's put in that form, something clicked for me, and so that's why I'm saying it to you, just in case we kind of have similar brains in that way, and you needed a little pick-me-up to just stick to your deadlines. And so basically it goes back to number 3, schedule time to do things. Number 4, give yourself the deadline and stick to it. Just stick to it. What if just this one time you didn't put it off? What if just this one time you stuck to it and you really made it happen? Because, what is that? What is that saying? It's something confidence breeds confidence, or encouragement. What is it? I don't know. But it's once you accomplish one thing, you're more amped up to do another thing, you know what I mean? So accomplishing one small goal, you're okay, done that, okay, next, and then you do another one, and you get momentum. That's kind of what I was that's what I was looking for. And you get momentum to do the next thing, and then the next thing. And also along these lines, so with the setting deadlines thing, it's helped me a lot, because I work with people or companies and do mural projects, and often they need sketches first, and often they need a proposal and stuff like that. So I will tell them, and it's basically so I will tell myself, hey, If we're meeting on like Wednesday, I'll be like, hey, yes, I would love to do your project. I will get it to you by Monday. And just me saying that has helped a ton for myself, just to get things out there. Because if you're like me, like I used to be, I mean, a week would go by, 2 weeks would go by, I'd be like, oh yeah, I'll do that, or I'll do a little bit here and there, but I wouldn't get it to them. And so they're over there being like, I met with her like 2 weeks ago. I wonder if she's working on, I don't know. Like, I don't want that thought to ever cross a customer's mind, because then I'm automatically more unprofessional. Yeah, or less professional, whatever. And that's real professional. Anyway, so I've started just to be like, and also if I'm like emailing back and forth with someone, like, and they've requested some edits in a sketch, which happens, and it's not the most fun thing, so it's often the thing that gets put off in my head. And they ask for updated sketches and just changes and all that. I'm like, okay. And I will tell them, hey, I will get this to you by Monday. Or, hey, I will get it to you by the end of the week or before the weekend. Like, I set a date. I won't be like, okay, I'll do that, and then just leave it up in the air. Like, just setting a deadline really helps. And it also just helps your customer. So, like, what am I trying to say? It helps your customer have a roadmap as well. So you're creating it for yourself and you're creating it for your customer too. That way, if they are the impatient kind, which some customers are, and 5 days goes by and they're like, hey, are you gonna do that sketch? And you're like, it's been 5 days, like that's nothing. But you telling them, hey, I'll get it to you in 7 days, or I'll get it to you in 2 weeks. I'm really, really busy right now, but I will get it to you in 2 weeks. That helps them be able to calm down. And also, going back, stick to it, because it makes you look really bad, and you know that. It makes you look really bad if you don't meet that deadline. And I know a couple times in my head that I can think about this past year, there was one painting that I did of just, it was like on a saw blade. If you guys saw, you have to go way back on Instagram. It was on a saw blade, and it was five different landscapes with like 5 different dogs in it. And I was like, I did what I'm telling you not to do. Like, I was like, okay, yeah, like he said he wasn't in a hurry, which is the big thing. He's like, do it when you can. I was like, okay, I'll try to do it maybe by like April. April comes around, forgot about it, didn't put it in my calendar. Oh my gosh, I have to do this. I started on it, got busy with other things. It's May. I message him. I'm like, hey, so sorry. Like, I give him an updated photo because I had started on it. I just didn't finish it. And I had other things come up that were really time sensitive. And I was like, hey, sorry. He's like, no big deal. I'm not in a hurry. And I'm like, okay, cool. And so a couple weeks went by. Well, he's not in a hurry. Again, I didn't set a date. And so I think I was probably 2.5 months past April. Maybe I probably gave it to him like June-ish or something. And I felt so bad. I was like, hey, sorry. Like, and I actually ended up taking like 10% off just to like ease my own conscience. And just to like, I'm not saying you have to do that if you miss a deadline, but it just looks bad. And so to make it a little bit better, money makes a lot of things better. I just took off about 10%. I was like, hey, I'm so sorry. Here you go. Thank you so much. Blah, blah, blah. Sent it to him. It was good. And so really, lesson learned in that. Like, I knew better, but I did it anyway because they said they weren't in a hurry. Even if they're not in a hurry, give it a deadline for yourself. Anyway, I'll get off my high horse on that. But try it out. Like, I think that just that little thing really helps. And now number five. It's not really along the lines of 1 through 4 at all. But it's this little hack that I found lately, and it has really, really, really helped me. So, raise your hand if you're addicted to your phone. I'm sitting here in my room, raising my hand. Yeah. So, I am highly addicted to my phone. I work on it. I social media on it. I talk to my friends on it. And everything. I'm so addicted to my phone. And I think I turned on that tracker that tells you how many hours you're on your phone, and it is shameful. Like, it is so shameful. I think last week was like 7 hours. So it was a down week, okay? But the past couple weeks after that, I was averaging about 3 hours. And so this is top of mind for me right now. I was doing it really well. I was doing this number 5 tip really well, and then I fell off. And so I was like, okay, no more. Number 5, if you are addicted to your phone, turn off your social media notifications. Turn them off. All of them. You don't need to know what's happening right now. And Facebook was the first one to go for me. And I turned all of my Facebook notifications off, I'd say maybe 6 months ago or longer. Like, it's been a while. And I just noticed instead of checking Facebook 3 or 4 times a day, it was once a day at night. And that was partially because I was getting a little addicted to Instagram. So I was like, okay, Facebook can go, bye. Because they send you so many notifications all the time for like nothing. They're like, so-and-so's birthday is today. And it's like, who is that? You know, like, I don't need to know that. Anyway, so to turn off your notifications on your iPhone, I know you go to your settings, you scroll down to notifications, and just in case nobody knows, I'm sure you guys know how to do this, but just in case somebody out there is like, how do I do that? You go into your iPhone. I don't know what it is in the Androids, but on your iPhone, you go into your notifications, and you go down to your app. And so you'll click on notifications and then go into Facebook, and then do not allow notifications. Do not allow a banner. Do not allow it on your front screen. Don't allow it anywhere. Nowhere. Nada. And it will save you so much just checking your phone, just looking at your phone for nothing. Like, people on social media, they don't need even if you're using it for business, I'd say, just get in the habit of maybe checking it at noon and at night, or in the morning and at night. Like, just, people can wait. Also, I just recently did this for Instagram. I know. I am doing my own rule, but it's been a long time coming. So I was like, okay, but I'm on Instagram so much. Like, my clientele is on Instagram. My future students are on Instagram. My current students are on Instagram. And I'm really trying to grow my Instagram. I need to be on it. Nope. I don't. And so I recently turned off all of my notifications on Instagram. And so what that does is, like, it just doesn't come up on my phone screen. If I go into Instagram or Facebook, like, you'll still be able to see the 100 notifications for the day that you haven't checked in 8 hours. Like, those will still be there. Like, you'll still get notified when people message you and like your stuff and all of that. But you just won't get it right away. And recently I took off Snapchat as well. I don't use Snapchat as much, but people just send me stupid videos. And it takes my concentration away from what I'm working on and puts it on my phone, because when you check Snapchat, you're going to go and, oh, what's Instagram doing? What's Facebook doing? And I also recently took it off of TikTok, because that app, if you're not on TikTok yet, I'm sure you've heard me talk about it, that is the most addicting app that I have been on in a while. Like, that, you get sucked in. It is crazy. And at first I was like, this is just little kids doing stupid stuff. Like, I really was opposed to it at first. And then I got on it for like an hour. And I couldn't get off. And TikTok, like all the other ones, it will send you so-and-so liked, or you have this many followers, you so-and-so messaged you, blah, blah, blah. And I had to just shut it off. I couldn't do it. So I currently have 0 social media notifications set up on my phone. And if you've already done this, congrats to you. Message me and be like, yes, this changed my world too, or yeah, that's no big deal. But for me, as someone who is addicted to my phone, turning off the social media notifications was a game changer. And it really does help me just stay concentrated. And now I just have to fight my addiction to just or my habit to pick up my phone randomly, even when there's no notifications, and check it. Like, that's what I'm currently working on. Anyway, just to recap, 5 simple productivity tips to increase profits. So they all will increase your profits, because you're going to be more focused, you're going to get more done, your customers will appreciate that, they will recommend you to other ones, and you're just going to be overall more productive, and so that will increase profits. Number 1, give yourself a break. Take a break. If you are taking a lot of breaks, work a little bit more, though. I'm not saying, like, for the person who who binges Netflix all the time, I'm not saying go take another break. You need to work harder. But for those who have not watched Netflix or TV shows or anything like myself for a really long time, because I'm like, I need to build my dream, it's okay to take a break, a social media break as well. I did a couple of those where I just kind of put my phone down and don't post on my story, don't post, like, when I was in Africa, I just put my phone away and I couldn't even look at it. I was so fed up with it for a while. And then it came back, and then everything was fine, but I needed a break. And number 2, answer messages and emails when you get them. This keeps you from rereading stuff later or forgetting about it, Like, if you don't mark it as unread, if you forget about it, that's the worst. I'm literally talking to myself on this because I just messaged someone who I forgot to message last week, but I'm getting better, okay? I'm getting better, and I want this for you too. Number 3, schedule time to do things. Literally put it in your calendar. Number 4, give yourself deadlines to do those things and stick to it. Just stick to it at least once, and then you'll stick to it again, and then you'll stick to it again. It's like a diet, It's like going to the gym. I always say, like, making an art career is like going to the gym. It kind of sucks at first, but then you get used to it. Number 5, turn off your notifications on your social media apps. Bam! That's it. All right, that's it. I just want to hop on here and give you guys a little bit of motivation. If you have not tried all of these yet, pick one first. Don't try them all right now. Don't do that. Just pick one to try this week and see if it helps you out. And then maybe add on another one next week. I'm all about the just wading into the water slowly instead of jumping in feet first, because then I might drown and it's cold. And I don't know, that might have been a bad analogy, but just do one at a time. And that's it. All right, I will see you guys next week, and I'll see you advanced members in our 4th quarter success plan. Let's get at it. All right, bye-bye. This episode is sponsored by the Artist Academy Advanced Membership, a program for artists who want to up-level their art game by taking it from a hobby or a side hustle to a full-time art business. I've been a professional artist for over 5 years, with paintings in several different countries and a client list that includes high-profile companies such as Bass Pro, O'Reilly's, Duck Commander, and many, many more. So I figured out what it takes to build an art business, and now my heart is set on teaching aspiring artists like you to do the same. Go to advancedmember.com, that's advancedmember.com, to learn more. Don't forget to subscribe to the podcast and leave a review. Also, if you ever want to join us live and have your questions answered in real time by myself or featured guests, then just hop on over to facebook.com/groups/Artist Academy every Tuesday at 8 p.m. Central Standard Time. And I'll see you next week.